Morning, brave hearts. Good morning, eagle eyes. Good morning to the audience. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today is January 30th. It is a Monday. A Monday morning. It is 9:30 a.m. on the dot. It is 44 degrees outside in New York, Bronx, New York. Of course, it's a cloudy day. Well, it's a cloudy morning. I said day. It's a cloudy morning. I just would like to welcome everyone to another episode of Bronx Girl. Alter ego perspective with Bronx Girl. I hope everyone is having a great start to your day. Hope you had a great weekend, a productive weekend, a relaxing weekend, just an enjoyable weekend. However you celebrate your weekend, I hope it went, well. And that's I had a great weekend. I had a relaxing weekend. Zachary is off to school. I came live because I wanted to just gather the audience and we talk about the weekend of events that went on, and then we'll go into a little deeper topic about Tyre Nichols, the death of him. What are your thoughts? I dropped the link if anyone want to participate or come and voice your opinion about anything that may be going on in the YouTube streets that you don't have the opportunity to air it out on anyone else's panel, because we are a neutral page and we will continue to grow as a neutral page and an entertainment channel. So welcome one, welcome all, everyone from near and far. I appreciate you for listening. Let's see, let's just jump right into it because I really. Good morning, Doris. How are you? Doris is in the building. Good morning, Doris. Thank you, Doris, for coming by and just gracing your beautiful presence with me this morning. I hope you're having a great start to your day. And if anyone want to drop down in the chat, be my guest, you are welcome to do so. As usual, as typical show with us, we talk about mostly what's going on between everyone that's on YouTube and have a platform. So I just feel like there's nothing, no changes in anybody's content. It's still the same ongoing, never ending drama, so to speak. Hey, good morning, Ralph. Ralph is in the building. Ace Bukun. That's right, Ralph. You know what it is. I hope you are having a great morning or a start to your morning. It's in the process, or however you start your day. I hope everyone is having a, great morning. All mornings are not good. So thank you for listening. I want to make this an easy listening experience. And that brings me to the point with this topic. Like I feel like YouTube is like it has so many prime examples of what to do and what not to do, or how to run your platform, how not to run your platform. Even though we all judge each other, I know I'm one of the many that judge people how they run their platform, but I don't hold it against them because that's what they know. That's what they know. Just like people shouldn't judge me, and they do judge me. I shouldn't judge them. They shouldn't judge me, but we judge each other based on how we run our platform. I hope you have. Thank you, Ralph. I will have a great day. Thank you, and it all determines on how the supporters. Of course, everyone want to feel that their supporters support them in the most way, in the best way possible. They're genuine. They stand and they believe in you, but that doesn't always seem to be the case. Supporters go and supporters come. Content creators collab and then they have a falling out, which is okay with me. I don't have no second thoughts about that. You know, it's 6:30 here, so I'm starting my morning. Oh, 6:30 there. Oh, that's a nice time, 6:30. Oh, thank you, Doris, for waking up with me so early in the morning. That's what it's about. Just waking up to hearing something that you have interest in. Good morning, Lasagna. How you doing? Gemini in the building. What you have to do, Lasagna, is when I become a little bit wild, you gotta fan the flames. It's going well. I went out, I drank my coffee. I came early. I dropped the link because if anybody want to come up and discuss any topics, or you just want to sit back and listen, you have the best seat in the house. Shout out to the replay gang. Shout out to the bush watchers and the podcast listeners. You help grow the show. I was just looking. Listen, I know a lot of people that come in here. they supported they content creators that they favor and the ones that they don't favor. So I know that certain things may just rub people the wrong way, and that's okay because I'm not here to like be somebody I'm not. You know. Thank you, Lasagna. And I'll just say, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is what I'm going to say is because I don't want to linger on it. I don't want to ponder on it too long. Is the ongoing drama that's escalating. It's just like I'm going to be honest and upfront and forward. It's getting boring. It's not interesting anymore. It has no appeal. It has not. It don't have the same tone to it. It's just like, oh, they are grasping at straws. People are just trying to find a reason to go live, whether you get paid or not. Like, I just don't want to come up here if I don't have anything to say that makes anything of substance. Like, substance matters, so it has to be important when I speak about something. I feel like with Roz and Sharita going back and forth, I don't understand the continuous back and forth. They're gonna just go at each other for the rest of their lives. There's no end in sight. There's no truce being called. And if it's gonna be a truce being called, it's not. I'm not gonna buy it. As well, too late to call any truce. Happy Monday, Manifest Reality. Manifest Reality is in the building. I haven't seen you in a while. Manifest Reality, the Aquarius. Did you have a birthday, Manifest? Did we wish you happy birthday? Because I know I have some birthdays coming up. Thank you, Ralph, because you're a real one, and people be straight capping, straight capping. So I'm just like, okay, so how do you like give commentary on two people that go at it every day, other day, and continuous to go at each other every day? Like, things are being recycled, the same things are being talked about. It's just like, where do we go into a different topic? If you want to still be have drama between each and every one of you, I feel like it should be totally different, like not the same old thing we've been hearing. I'm waiting to hear something new. I don't tune in when they get going back and forth. I hear Roz, I hear Sharita, I listen to Sweet Tea, I listen to Ocean, I listen to everyone. It's here and there a tad bit and tune in just to get enough of who I'm listening to. And I'm like, okay, where do we draw the line with, like, where does it stop? The thing about Sharita and Roz is like, I don't understand how they don't realize that their arguments is not even valid anymore. Like, Roz is losing her momentum. When it comes to Sharita, her supporters say the same thing. Sharita is losing her momentum when it comes to Roz. She did have a primetime show. Excuse me, Sharita did give a primetime show on Thursday when she laid it out on the line about what she may have known about, Rise deceased son. So, I'm not saying what she did was right. I'm just saying that if you're a content creator and you have to produce content, then that's something that you have to do is give an epic dynamic show. And that's what she did. So, and this is nothing personal towards any of the women, because I just can't become personal or even have my personal feelings in it if I'm neutral. So I just feel like, where are they going with it, or where does it end? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. My birthday's coming up. Manifest. My birthday's coming up soon. Thanks for remembering me, prepping my folks already that night and the week. Oh, it's gonna be off the chain. It sounds like it's gonna be epic. Sound like it's gonna be a dynamic Aquarius celebration. So thank you for telling me that, Manifest. I just feel like, when I come up here, I want to have something to say. I want my supporters to be interested and keep their interest. So it's like, okay, if we put Sharita and Roz on the back burner for a moment, let's just do that. Let's just do that. Oh, you Miami. Oh, Miami don't know what is in store, huh? Miami just seemed like a nice place to go and have a nice like celebration and feel the vibes of everyone. I want you to have a safe and a beautiful celebration, Manifest, as an Aquarius. I know how y'all do. Um, so I just feel like in most ways, like, okay, if I don't talk about Roz and Sharita, there's just nothing to talk about. We already covered most things. The death of Rostam, which I wouldn't get into in depth about. They're gonna go back and forth with each other. I feel like, listen, people like myself who thinks similar to the way I think, my community of people, we only look at the how you say it, which I put up, which I post. It's like, okay, nothing. We're not amused. We're not swayed. We're not shocked. It's nothing y'all are doing are of shock value. I guess that's what I want to say. Like, there's nothing of shock value on this sector. Roz, she probably got ahead of herself, and she took in more, or bit off more than she could chew, with coming in and dominating the sector, because it's like every post is about her, geared towards her. She have more names about her in her title. Greetings, Grand Rising, Bronx. Hey, Bridget. Bridget is in the building. So that's how I feel about that. I was listening to The Weekend, and I don't want to get into any. I don't want to be in the middle of any content creators and who they going back and forth with, because it just shows bias. I support Sweet Tea. I listen to Sweet Tea. I respect Sweet Tea. If Sweet Tea is given alive and I'm listening in the bushes, and then I come in and be like, hey, Sweet Tea, hey, chat. I feel like I'm supposed to come in the excuse me, in the beginning and say hello and greet the host before she go into her commentary, so I won't disrupt her. Because sometimes when other content creators, say like if Sweet Tea came in here, we have the same supporters, and people are speaking to Sweet Tea. That's nothing wrong with that. But I do be listening to her, and I need to. A lot of her supporters, are not. I'm not going to say loyal to her, because we see how that go. A lot of her supporters have her back. So if and many of her supporters, not all, like many, a majority of her supporters don't support me. So I would feel uncomfortable with coming into her chat and saying hello, and I don't get that response. Many may say hello, Bronx girl, or whatever. But I like to listen to, and I'm gonna start dropping in and saying hello to let everyone know that there is no personal things between us. It's just certain things I don't want to do to be looked at in a certain way, especially if I'm conveying a genuine support. So, Sweet Tea is, I heard Sweet Tea, she got into it with one of her supporters, her subscribers. That just how it goes. Sweet Tea already know how it goes. Her and Brittany have graced this chat. She have said hello. Good morning, Charmel. Good morning, good times. Good morning, just me. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning to the people coming in. We was just talking about Roz and Sharita, how their content is not of shock value anymore like it used to be. Like, it's like not even draining to me. It's just like I'm not impressed. Not that I was, or I'm just not that interested. It's just like the back and forth, the back and forth. Now, the new drama, I just was shocked that, Sweet Tea, now she have to face the battle of her supporters. And that's how it goes. Supporters are not going to stay with you 100% as they say they would. They're not going to ride with you like they say they would ride with you. I know her and Brittany have a back and forth. Now a supporter is caught up in the middle. Sweet Tea stand alone. She stand her ground. She really don't have that large support system like Roz may have, and that's okay. So she have to fend for herself, just like many of us. You know what I mean? Like many of us. Good morning, Coco Love. How are you doing? Thank you, Coco Love. How are you? Hey, T-Lo. Hand pink waving. Hey, good morning, T-Lo. Thank you for stopping by, T-Lo. Manifest said, I have something to say about that ST person. It's good you give respect. However, that person does not have respect for all others at all. She always interrupts chat platforms. That is why no one wants to deal with her. That is why no one wants to have any dealings with her. Keep being real. Thank you, Ralph. I appreciate that. All of it is definitely draining. Like, I don't want my supporters to be drained by any of this, because we stand in a position where we know that this is just like the temporary drama, right? But there are people, right, that are so invested and so deep into this YouTube and the content that they produce that they become enraged and devoted, and they become a little bit too invested. We here at this platform, we just look at it as another news story, and then we talking about Sweet Tea. She came out here with lies and being belligerent, which was not necessary. Are you talking about a Sweet Tea? Thank you. She does. She do. I give her that. Sweet Tea have not changed her stand. She have not changed who she was. I was a little surprised that her and Sharita, you called the little truce. If we're gonna call it the truce, that's the only part I was surprised about. You feel me? Like she have stood alone. Excuse me. She have stood her ground by herself. I give her the most props because she have been doxxed when she first got doxxed. Well, not because I don't care if Sweet Tea is a nurse or not. Like that's not my interest. Um, that's not something that I would do a deep dive investigation on to see if she has this profession. She could have came out here and said that she is a con artist, and I would have been okay with that. I'm not going to go check to see if she's a con artist. She could have came out here and said that she is a CEO of a multi-billionaire company. I'm not going to go and investigate that. I'm interested in what she have to say about her content. A lot of people get on here and perpetrate a fraud. I'm not saying Sweet Tea is, because I don't care if she's a nurse or not. She says she's a nurse. She's a nurse. I don't think she got nothing to prove to nobody. You know what I mean? That aspect. I know that she it's good. They're gonna pile up on her. Yeah, she did come out swinging out the gate. She had a strategy. Her strategy worked. A lot of people like Sweet Tea. A lot of people don't. But I feel like I don't want to get in between the middle of it and be like, yo, tag me in. When the time is right, Sweet Tea will tag me in if we have to do a chopping up of people. Because she don't like a lot of people I don't like, but she have people that support her that I don't like. She support Inclusion Guru. She's not a favorite of mine. She's not at all. But that don't have anything to do with me and Sweet Tea. I just see what was going on. She was caught like between a rock and a hard place, and that's just not too comfortable for some people. Like you think you have supporters, and then they turn on you, so to speak, or you want your supporters to support you fully, genuinely, authentically. That does not happen, right? It's like when you got 10 people, Sweet Tea, I'm not saying she's perfect. I'm not saying that, oh, she don't get down and dirty, right? She doing what everybody else is doing. So we don't have to like give someone credit and not give her credit. They all doing the same thing. Okay. Let me see to manifest. I'm gonna come down. Good morning, Fanny. The worst thing anyone can Fanny, I see a comment. The worst thing anyone can do is attempt to mislead when things can be proven. Trust me, there are many who do not just listen. Everything is to everything. It things we are not required to be stated of disrespect. Listen, you know, I'm not gonna sit here and not Sweet Tea have said some things that I'm not like, like, oh my goodness, I could question for what she say. I question a lot of people and what they say and how they present their content. She did not come out with like a lot of people said she came out swinging. When she first came out, she came in, I think she came in respectfully. I think she came in respectfully towards Roz and the other content creators. But when she initially came in, everybody had the thought or the idea that she may have had information on that other girl. I'm not gonna say her name because that is not a favorite of mine. I want everybody to know that is not a favorite of mine. If we remember how Sweet Tea initially came in, her objective was to say, oh, she may have some information about this certain particular person, right? So just like myself and anyone else, like there's nothing there. So there's nothing to harp on. So she moved on to the next, right? So she came in, she tried to be decent and respectful because she was decent and respectful when she came in of Roz and Sharita, just like I was decent and respectful of Roz and Sharita. Well, Sharita came in at a later point, but initially, I was respectful. Even though I had content about Roz that wasn't even in the best light, I was respectful, right? It just didn't turn out the way things wanted to turn out. She did speak about Latrice and what she may not have liked about Latrice. I have spoken about Latrice and the things I have not liked about Latrice. That's why I respect her, right? And as a content creator, we know that, listen, we want to keep our audience, we want to keep our foundation. They like what I'm talking about. Let's harp on and let's continue to talk about this. But people change their minds just like we change our minds. It's not even about changing a mind. It's about, listen, we don't want to stick to that one topic the whole time. Why the hell would she have to continuously talk about Latrice? She said what she said. Maybe she said something about Latrice that she's like, oh, okay, there's nothing else more to say. How you gonna knock her for that? So what? If she don't want to talk about Latrice in a bad light, she don't want to talk about Latrice in a bad light. Maybe she don't watch Latrice like that to talk about her in a bad light. How about that? You know what I mean? Let me speak. Let me go to the chat. Fanny is in the building. Good morning, Fanny. Lasagna says 3T can definitely hold her own. She damn sure can. I am impressed that she never folded. She has never folded. I'd be like, damn, like I think she like soothes a lot of people impressions of her. Like, they say one thing and she come back with another. She don't fold. She have not changed her rhythm. She have not changed her tune. When she give her live, she do, when I listen in and she talking about a certain topic, and she can hold the audience whether I agree with everything she said or not, because there's no way in the hell that I can agree with one person or anybody 100% of what they said if they're giving a monologue or dialogue. That's just impossible. No one have to tell anyone their business. Who cares about a person's background? This is entertainment only. It's only entertainment, right? That is true. I could see if Sweet Tea or myself or Roz or Sharita or whomever is in this arena are major influencers or impactful on the neighborhood, or people are throwing like donations up or funding towards their channel, or major brand deals and shit. Yeah, you have some explaining to do. But whether what I do when I log off this, live, is my prerogative. That's the only thing. I'm not going to sit here and explain myself to what I am, who I am, what I got, who I'm with. No, I don't trust people like that at this point, right? People have done it, show who they were. You could say, oh, look at my beautiful home. Somebody would zoom in and find a scratch on a wall that you can't even see. That's how petty and ignorant some people are. Okay? There was an agenda of needs as with everyone else, so nothing was real or misleading. Okay, a manifest. I know how to move, and I do not listen to ignorance because it's not my forte. You dig? I dig you. If you don't like a content creator, don't listen to them. Go where you feel comfortable. That's how I feel too. Like, go where you feel comfortable. Like, I'm not gonna get up in Sweet Tea chat and say, oh, I don't like you, Sweet Tea. Okay, Sweet Tea first response would be, if you don't like me, then what? Move around and get the F out of my chat. Like, everyone is not made for everyone. A lot of people don't listen to me because I rub people the wrong way. That's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. That means I'm not for you. Just me said, I don't have anything against Sweet Tea, but I can no longer listen to her. She repeats herself too much on one live. It's kind of annoying. Um, Thank you, Fanny. I'm just saying, like, everybody has their downs about their lives. Everybody have their ups. But Sweet Tea, she always have a message in her life. Everyone has a little message. It's like, she do things kind of different. She roasts people. I've listened to her when she talk about certain topics. I listen to her when she have certain things to say about a particular situation, because that's what I'm interested in. I look at her videos that she shared with her family. I listen to Brittany and everything. I listen to Roz here and there. I listen to Sharita here and there. And it's not like, oh, I'm giving them all A's across the board. I'm not. I'm not giving nobody an A at all. Okay. Ugliness manifests ugliness not shows on the inside. It comes on out from the eyes. Sweetie begins sharing a little of her personal life, and these folks went crazy with Doxon. Right, a little bit of her life she was sharing, but she it's not like she came out totally different. I don't think she hid who she was. Her first video, and I don't know if it was her very first video, her introduction video, right, was her in a uniform. She showed her face, right? So she wasn't hiding who she was, as opposed to many. My first video, I think I did videos of showing my face. Whether you like my face or not, I showed you who I was, right? She showed who she was in her first video. She had on a uniform, right? She introduced herself. She said what she would do, and she said how she was going to do it, right? If y'all can remember, right? So I'm just saying, I give her credit, because She did not hide behind the screen and go live. She showed her face. So that means that she, even if she is somebody that she's not, she don't got nothing to hide, right? She showed her face plenty of times afterwards. So and that goes to show how people are so fake and so phony. They like who they want to like, but the people that don't show their face, have never shown their face, hardly show their face, are the ones that you should be skeptic of. Okay, no one, that's right, Fanny. No one on YouTube is perfect. All content creators have indulged in the madness. All content creators. That is a fact. Laverne Green, good morning. Laverne, she said good morning, and she's speaking to the chat. So I don't like sit there and grade Sweet Tea with an F, or like, oh, what she's doing. Like a lot of things she say, of course I don't agree with. But I'm not gonna sit there and go down the line of what I don't agree with or what she says. A lot of things I don't agree with what Sharita said. I'm not gonna sit there and go down the line on what I don't agree with. It's a lot of things I don't agree with what Roz say and do, but I'm not gonna go down the line and spread out and go over every little detail. No, not that's not how we rock over here. I seen like the supporters are now involved in it. They have like they get the light out of it too. They have like joy also out of what's going on because they now are center of attention. People posting, people supporters. Like that's not me. That's not who I am. I'm not going to take the time to go find a picture and post it and say, "Oh, I have a picture of you." Like what does that determine? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Posting a picture of someone is not going to do anything at all, right? You got people that's posting pictures of other people but won't show pictures of themselves. You got people that talk about other people's children but don't talk about their children or post their children. You got people that post other people's children and don't show their children, but their supporters be like, oh, you got the receipts, you bring the tea. How is it that the person that you're following and that you're supporting and that you're tuning into every day can post somebody else's picture, can post someone else's children, but they never post theirs, right? That doesn't like ring a bell to you. That doesn't ring a bell to you. The hell? Uh, Manifest as many show who they are. I am an observer. Yes, you are. I can see that from the gate. You don't have to see a person to figure a person out. Everyone got bad habits on this sector. Everyone, including myself. I could be very nasty, demanding, condescending, uh, arrogant. That's a bad behavior. But it's not like, oh my goodness, nobody is better than nobody over here. Trust me, right? Everyone that says that they come from this and they come from that and they have this, you only can do it in this community, right? You can't go out there in a real world. And I'm not like disregarding or dismissing anyone compliments, excuse me, goals or accomplishments. I'm not dismissing or disregarding any of that. However, it does not matter to most people what you have or what you say you have. I don't care if you have a house or not. I'm just keeping it real. I don't care if you have a car or not. I'm just keeping it real. If you have a nice car and you brag about it and I rock with you, oh, that's a nice car. I support you. But to prove to me that you have a car, it doesn't matter, right? Sweet Tea living what Florida. Everybody when I went to go see my brother in Florida, I was amazed how everyone had a nice car in Florida. That's just how Florida rolls. Okay? I'm just saying. That's what I'm saying. Right? So Lisa is in the building. Good morning, Lisa. Right. I was taught, thank you, Lasagna. I was taught a long time ago, you never compare children against children. Exactly. That's like I feel like I put up one picture of my baby, you know, when I had my other page, right? Right? This is how I could show you who's real and who's not. I put up one picture of Zachary on when I had Bronx Girl and my members only because I was showing to my members. That picture never got leaked out, right? At all. I feel like I won't put my baby up there unless I have members or like say if me and Lasagna we exchange messages and we talk around the holidays and like look Lasagna, look what I did today with Zachary, look at the family. That would be something personal between me and her. You know what I mean? Because now it's like you can't even trust anyone. Not even trust. Like, why would you even open up to someone about your personal life that you probably may want to share with someone who's interested in what you got going on? Or I may be interested in my supporters off of YouTube, the real genuine ones, and we exchange messages and be like, oh, look what I did, stuff like that. But to put it up, my family, that's not happening at all. No, that's not happening at all, especially on the main page. That's how I feel about that. Chocolate 47 is in the building. Good morning, here working and listening, about to go into 2 hour training. Everyone have a blessed day. Have a great training, Chocolate 47. We still holding you to going live. You gotta go live. You gotta go live, Chocolate 47. Let me see. Okay, so uh wait, Lois. Hey, Lois, how you doing? Lois is in the building. How are you? And Manifest said, Bronx girl, and that is why I do not understand. Why even have discussion about these things when no one cares? Why bring up these things if someone is going to prove lies? Listen, if Sweet Tea or myself, if I come out and say I'm a lawyer, right? You're going to take it at face value. Either you're going to believe me or you're not going to believe me. The burden lies on you to prove that I'm not a lawyer. The burden doesn't lie on me. If I say I'm a lawyer and you say I'm not, prove that I'm not a lawyer, right? Sweet Tea don't have to pull out any documents at all to say she's a nurse. At all. I wouldn't. Why would she have to prove that she's a nurse to someone that already don't believe that she's not a nurse? That's all I'm saying. No one. All right, let me see. Lisa said fell out the bushes. If Sweet Tea was okay, I read that. Thank you, and she's right. Okay, thank you, Lisa. See what Lisa says. She will have to show her license, and they're gonna call the board like this is evil wickedness over here. Nobody gets a pass of being a good Christian. No one gets a pass of being a good human. No one gets a pass of being a decent person. That's what they do. That's what they're waiting for. That's what your if that's what your content is found upon, you doxing people, you calling the excuse me, you calling their jobs or you're calling their family members. That's what your content is found upon. That's not what my content is found upon. I don't care about none of that stuff. It is all amazing to me on how people have that much time to try to destroy someone's life. I'm just saying, people are invested, you know. Um Definitely invested. So manifesting, no one acts, never bring up anything that you do not want anyone to bring light to. That is madness. Listen, manifest. So if I come out here and you want to get to know your audience, you do have to give them a background. Who's going to trust you or who's going to follow you if they don't know anything about you? Everyone speaks about their lives here and there, right? Listen, I told people I take care of my father. We had the ignorant fools, the ignorant band of followers that thought that was something wrong with that. But yet, and still, those are the same people that will put their parent in a nursing home or probably allegedly poison their parent so they could get whatever their parent got coming to them. That's all I'm saying. I talked about my earlier days in my 20s and my excuse me, about my children. That was brought up. Like, that doesn't bother me. That's like a topic for people who don't have no brains or who have critical thinking or don't have logical reasoning, right? So they try to use something that you tell them to use it against you, but the person that you trying to use it against, like myself and probably Sweet Tea and many others, like, that's water under the bridge. You late. You weak. You weak. You weak. Okay. Most nurses don't act like that, teacher. That's a lie. There have been nurses that have committed more offensive things than Sweet Tea yelling and screaming on a goddamn channel. There have been nurses that have been fired, right, for the disgusting acts, right? So don't even, you can't even say, because what Sweet Tea is doing is nothing compared to what nurses have been going through and getting fired for because they're nasty, they're disgusting and rotten and downright, how you say it, dirty, right? If you have looked and paid attention to YouTube and these, excuse me, platforms, social media platforms that they have going on, right? Worse, there are nurses that are much worse that can't even compare to Sweet Tea. All Sweet Tea is doing is talking shit. That's all she's doing. She's not hurting anyone. She is not out here doing anything that nobody else is doing on these streets of YouTube. But nurses that are not on YouTube but post their business on YouTube that get fired for being stupid and saying stupid shit, doing stupid shit, right? Those are the ones that get what they deserve, right? Did you hear about the nurses saying that, oh, they quit? Like, let me tell you something. Like, I don't even want to get into what she do. If she says she's a nurse, I believe she's a nurse. I'm not going to be the one to say, oh, sweetie, can you call me and prove to me that you're a nurse? Nah, we don't get down like that. Not me. I won't ever get down like that. Bronx, let me have an open opinion. You don't have to cap for her. The critical thinkers are wondering how Sweet Tea nurse act like what? Act like what? How does a nurse act, right? So what about the nurses that fuck doctors and shit? What about the nurses that sleep with doctors? That is immoral, right? So you sitting up here talking about, oh, don't act like what? Act like what? Right? She's a human being before she's a nurse. She's a mother before she's a nurse. So if you want to sit there and say, oh, you talking about let you have your opinion, no, I'm pushing back because you're talking about you striking her with a broad stick. You shouldn't do that, right? What Sweet Tea is doing is not offensive to me at all. I don't sit there and I'm like, oh, okay, well, if she's a nurse, like I don't sit there like, oh, nurses shouldn't talk like that. There's nurses that moonlight after dark. Okay. See how far-fetched are you? No, I'm not far-fetched. I'm opening your mind to different broad perspectives. That's all I'm saying. So you sitting here talking about Sweet Tea should not act like that, or nurses don't act like that. But there are a lot of nurses that are out here that are immoral. All she doing is talking shit on an app, on a platform, on her channel. I don't see her. I don't see her endangering someone else's life. But you have so much to say about her morality and her integrity because she's a nurse. What? Listen, nurses are listen. Sweetie is very smart, right? She didn't come up here flash a badge. She didn't come up here in her scrub suit. She don't come up here like that. But there are nurses that have committed more offenses, heinous offenses than Sweet Tea. That's what I'm saying. Why are y'all trying to say, oh, well, she's a nurse, she shouldn't act like that? What do you mean? What do you mean? She don't have to, right? You exactly. She don't have to prove anything. We see it for yourself. Y'all have your own perception or how people should think and act and talk, right? I don't know what. Excuse me. It's a slap, right? I don't know who you representing. I'm not representing, but you know who you follow. If you follow Roz, if you follow Trees, if you follow whoever, right? You already have your prejudice and biases against her. So her being a nurse has nothing to do with the way she's acting. Okay? Anyone can behave improper at any moment. It's when and where right. So you mean to tell me that people, if one person could come up here and say that they have gotten fired through their acts on YouTube on this sector, then yeah, Sweet Tea, you are in trouble. Okay. Good morning, Jenny from the block. How you doing? Good morning. Lisa said, who knows half of these doctors and nurses act when they're not at work? Exactly. Thank you, Lisa. But they have a history because, they see each other for long periods of time, 12, 14 hours and shit, 12 and 14 hours and shit, and they get to know each other and they start sleeping with one another. Have you ever watched the chemistry between a nurse and a doctor? Whether it's just, even if they wasn't sleeping together or not, they know each other more. Like, there are more nurses out here that have committed way more serious offenses than Sweet Tea. And y'all talking about, oh, well, Sweet Tea is a nurse, she shouldn't act like that. What are your thoughts on those pigs, those animals that killed Tyre Nichols, the cops? But then again, people will say, oh, it's black cops that killed no. They will say, oh, we should be ashamed, or those cops shame the black community. That's just like trying to make Sweet Tea responsible for something that she should not be held responsible for. Okay? Good morning, Mets. The Mets. Meet the Mets. Meet the Mets. Listen, you had me questioning my son father. I was like, "Are you Meet the Mets in my YouTube channel?" He just started laughing because he's a Mets fan too. Like he'll wear Mets, whatever, his hats, whatever. You know what I mean if you a Mets fan. Okay. So let me go. Will a real nurse stand up? I don't care if you work in the hospital. Listen, if you know what you should do, it's a slap before you accuse Sweet Tea of being the worst nurse in history. Why don't you go do just recently about nurses that have been fired for doing TikTok? Okay. I'm coming to you, Charmel. Thank you for helping me bring this into a different conversation. Let the CEO and the board of nursing hear that mess. She's not a nurse. Listen, if what she has done, and we're going to get off her, if what she has done has harmed or endangered anyone of her patients or affected anyone or her patients, it will be dealt with. Not through the hands of YouTube supporters, right? Because they're just going to have listened to a bunch of angry people calling them. It's going to sound like the same old bullshit. They're just going to say this is nothing but a hate like campaign. That's what they're going to say. That's what I would say. You must don't have any other content if you got to stay on Sour TBS. I can talk about what I want to talk about. It's a slap. Like either you with it or you're not. Either you listen or you don't. I could speak about anybody I want to. I could speak about 20 different people and what? 2 minutes? It's you in here and you listening at full length, me speaking about Sweet Tea, so you are interested in what I have to say. Okay? Let's go. I personally know a few nurses when they out here partying, you would never believe they are nurses and they are damn good nurses. Exactly. It's a slap. If she's not a nurse to do it, to wait, Fanny said, if she's not a nurse, do it be. Okay, from the looks of it, Pep seems to be jealous. So listen. A lot of people say they are what they are, and they're not. I'm not convinced a lot of people are doing really good in funding. I'm not convinced that a lot of people have businesses that they take care of. I'm not convinced that a lot of people don't live paycheck to paycheck on this in this community. I'm not saying that everyone does, but I just believe that if you don't live paycheck to paycheck, then you should have a little bit like more sense in your thoughts and behaviors. I think part of your opinion and issue comes from you not being in the work field. Just say that. Yeah, parts of my opinion and my issues come from me not being in the work field. Right. What does that mean? That doesn't make sense to me at all. Like, you just mad because I could push back on you so effortlessly and so wisely. You just don't know what to say. Like, now you grasping for straws. You don't know what to say. Actually, you don't know how to respond because I know how to lay it out on a line with facts behind it. Okay? Me not being in the work field has nothing to do with me not having a logical mind and logical reasoning. Right? I'm just saying. I'm just saying, like, you sound like you lost for words. That's what I could say that. Where's the oh yeah. Hey, shout out to him. Let's go Mets. Yeah, he loved the Mets. Like and when they play and they lose, I just be like, and you still love them. So he a true Mets fan. So I'm just saying, like, it's a slap. You don't have nothing else to say, so that's where you go. Like, me not having a job is not affecting your taxes. I'm not one of your dependents. Let's get that straight. It's a slap. I'm not one of your dependents, and you're not one of mine. So you shouldn't even worry about my work history. I have skills. Believe that I have skills to feed my family. Let's not go there. Not that you should even be like informed of that. That's all I gotta say. So listen, and then it's a slap. People like her talking about nurses and nurses, but the pig cops that killed Tyre Nichols and cold-blooded like beat him down to a pulp that he died 3 days later. Like, and then when people want to say like it's a slap who have no information, no history, don't read like she should. Because if you read and you read, every day different things, then your mind will be more broad and expansive, because you have a closed mind, you have a narrow thinking mind, just by your opinions alone, just by your responses alone. So the pigs, the animals that killed Tyre Nichols, the 5 black men, right? Because people want to say they're ashamed that the men were black. Why would you be ashamed that the men are black? And in this sector alone is a prime example of how black people hate black people, that black people are prejudiced against black people, that black people are racist against other black people. Because if we weren't, and if we're not, then we wouldn't be having these conversations of who's better than who. Okay? Who's better than who? Right? Like who's better than who? Right? So it's a slap when she said me not having work feel or work history, but you just said that Sweet Tea could not be a nurse because of the way she act. What are your thoughts? It's a slap on the pigs. Let's like count out their race, because that's how black people are in real life. Whether they gun you down, whether they beat you down to a pulp, they are cops. They are police officers before they are black people. Okay, let's not get it twisted. It's a slap. Since you want to use Sweet Tea as an example of being a professional and taking her profession and using it and made what you want her to like face consequences behind talking shit on an app because you are uncomfortable with what she said. You still haven't told me who you follow. Who you follow? Latrice? Who you follow? Roz? Who you follow? Sharita? Right? I'm just saying, like y'all come in here with your like dumbest opinions that doesn't make any sense, because you can't like catch up, you can't like rebut of an opinion or a fact. So you just talk out of the ordinary, right? So there's a perfect example of the 5 black men, cops, that beat a 29-year-old man to a pulp and killed him. Right? So what are your thoughts on that? It's a slap, right? So if you don't like a certain person because you think a certain person is supposed to be a pillar of the community, right? Why are you watching them? I would not watch Sweet Tea and say, oh, well, I don't want to watch her because she's a nurse, and there could be a great chance that she could treat my child, and I wouldn't want her to treat my child because her mouth is so vulgar on YouTube. Right. That's like saying, oh, I don't want this black doctor to operate on my white wife. Y'all are crazy. You guys to get your opinions in order. Bronx, they're not sure who you are asking. However, I follow no one. I just speak on observation and facts I know. No, I'm talking about it's a slap. She said that because I'm not in the work field, she said because I'm not in the work field, that I wouldn't have no idea. Like, so what are your thoughts? Because Sweet Tea is like little fish. What are your thoughts on the 5 black cops that killed and murdered Tyre Nichols? Right? You know what I'm saying? They don't have nothing. They don't have nothing to back that up, that claim on, right? 5 police officers, they are police before they are black, right? So excuse me, Sweet Tea is a woman, a mother, a human before she is a nurse. Okay? Exactly. That is so true. People watch so they can be in tune with their selective outrage. That is all it is, selective outrage. Don't try to like pinpoint Sweet Tea being a nurse and say that, oh, I can't watch her, but you don't pinpoint Roz and say, oh, she says she's a social worker and she's a mandated reporter that she worked with children and she worked in a social work field, and then you say, oh, she can't like refer me or give me any resources that I may benefit from. And she talk about people children, she posts people children. Selective outrage is all it is. Okay, I feel that by responding in chats with respect, that my opinions are just as valid. Your opinions are valid as anyone else. I'm pushing back on it's a slap. I'm just pushing back on your opinions because I am talking about Sweet Tea. So when people try to bring up that excuse, there's always an excuse for when people talk about someone morals or integrity, talking about, oh, well, if she's a nurse, she shouldn't be talking like that. But Inclusion guru talk worse. Have you ever heard her content? Have you heard that? Have you ever heard that content? I said, what are your thoughts? It's a slap on the 5 policemen that murdered Tyre Nichols, right? Would you want to ride in their cop car? Would you want to ride in the back of their car? Like, what are you saying? You know what I mean? Like, y'all come in here. It's just like I'm lost on the comparison with the 5 pole. Why would you be lost? She said, and this is what I be talking about. You should be lost because it isn't a comparison. She made a comparison. You said, listen, I would take my kids to her if she's a nurse. What about the cops that murdered Tyre Nichols? That's an occupation that they hold, right? So why is it there can't be a comparison? Why can't it be a comparison that Sweet Tea is a nurse? You don't want to listen to her because that's not how nurses supposed to act. But the 5 pigs that murdered Tyre Nichols, and they're black, wouldn't you want to say, oh, I wouldn't feel safe and protected by them? What's the difference? You comparing occupations. That's their occupation. That's what I'm saying. Like Sweet Tea being a nurse and her ranting and raving on YouTube and giving reactions and doing things a lot of people don't approve of has nothing to do with her being a nurse, right? Inclusion Guru claims she a teacher. So what the hell are y'all talking about? The selective outrage. That's what it is. I'm watching you at the moment. What does it matter in the future when doing commentary focus on one subject? I think you are lost because you're not following, you're not comprehending. Anyone that have been following me from day one, no, I speak about variety of people. I don't set my mind on one particular person. People don't come in here for me to speak about one particular person, right? If you are not fast enough or swift enough or even just fast enough to respond to what I'm saying, then maybe this is not the place for you. Okay? Okay, so Doris said, Fanny, right? These people just don't like tea, and who gives a damn? It's not going to stop anything. We all have our opinions, so it is what it is, respectfully. Exactly. Selective outrage, that's what it is. That's what Meet the Med says. Selective outrage, right? That is selective outrage. That's what they're doing now. Talking about they mad about the black cops because they were black and they shaming the community. No, those cops are cops before they are black. Black people hate black people too. Sharita and Ross has displayed that, right? Prejudice against each other, discriminated against each other, hateful things they say towards one another, comparing their houses to one another, comparing their children to one another. So that's what I'm saying. Don't come at me with that half-ass bullshit. Okay, Bronx is having an outrage now. Listen, it's a slap. Listen, you becoming a little agitated. I don't want stupid people in my chat, so I'm blocking you. Like, go over there where you are needed and where you are recognized with your stupid shit. Maybe you are really too slow to follow my commentary. A lot of people can't follow my commentary with comprehension, and you are one of them, right? And Brenda Rose. Oh, so Brenda's in here, Roz Squad for Life. So let's talk about Roz. She put up, a Sharita kids' pictures, zooming in on their faces, talking about their kids are ugly, but her kids are beautiful. So what do you say about that? Roz putting up kids' pictures, Sharita talking about the death of Roz's son. Like, who's better? Who's better at it? Right? Roz ain't no better than nobody. If you talking about Roz Squad for Life, that's the cult that's in here. If you got Roz Squad for Life behind your name, then you are in a cult, and I don't want you in here. So let's block Brenda Roz Squad for Life because she's a cult member, and we're gonna block. It's a slap. Oh wait, well, Bronx, I won't answer that because it has zero to do with what I said about you. Listen, don't worry about if I'm in the work field or not. Like I said, I'm not one of your dependents, so you shouldn't care. You're not one of my dependents, so you shouldn't care. That's the stupidity of how far your mind goes. That's the dumbness and the ignorance that you are fed of whoever you follow, righteously and religiously. Yeah, she's getting blocked to zero to do with ST her character. No, it has a lot to do with her character. Roz has a terrible character too when she put pictures of children up. right? When she sit out there and put out a call to action to say to find this one and find that one. Because see, if my information come out, bye-bye, it's a slap. I'm just gonna be speak down to you. I'm not gonna put out information. The more information you put out on me, Brooks, I'm not a Roz fan, but I'm in. No, you're not in the cult. Everyone is not in the cult. The ones that sit there and go to the line for Roz like that and talk like they know her personally, or talk like she don't have no wrongdoings, or talk when I said that, oh well, I don't listen to Roz. That's because that's where this all started, when people were upset when I said I don't listen to her when she talked about Latrice and her parenting. You all over the place. The cops did a disgusting thing and made the national news. They should be punished and held accountable. What are you talking about? I'm all over the place. I'm making a comparison to occupations. If y'all did not say, well, I would not want Sweet Tea treating my children because she's a nurse. What are your thoughts on the cops that murdered Tyre Nichols because they are cops? What are your thoughts on that? That is an occupation that has impact and influence over the world. Sweet Tea being a nurse talking shit on the YouTube, she has no major influence. She has no major impact. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all sitting there like throwing out breadcrumbs and shit. You know, y'all feed off a trail of breadcrumbs. Like your minds are made of mush. I made a comparison to Sweet Tea and the cops that killed and murdered Tyre Nichols to show you that Sweet Tea has no major impact or major influence, that she is harming or endangering anyone. That's all I'm saying. Like, let that sit in your brains. Let that show that you have no current events in your vocabulary or even in your timeline, right? I just compare Sweet Tea to the nasty, disgusting, dirty cops, right? That murdered an innocent young man, 29 years old, for allegedly driving recklessly. And you talking about that you would not want Sweet Tea to treat your child because of her mouth. But there are doctors, right? And there are people like you who say the same shit like that, that would say, well, I don't want this black doctor to treat my wife because I don't like black people. The fuck y'all talking about? No, I know, Doris. I know they are crazy. They talk about I'm all over the place because they can't catch up. And those cops, they are disgusting. They can't catch up, Doris. Those cops are disgusting, and hopefully they will go to prison and never work as a cop again. They won't. You know what they did to that man was disgusting. You cannot compare someone's occupation and base it on a character, because you know what? The cops, police, they are trained animals, right? What they did was an animalistic act. They killed that man for no reason, and then people want to say, "Oh, well, they shaming the black community." They are. I'm not ashamed of them. That's how black people portray themselves on a daily basis. That's when people say black on black crime. I say it's a myth. Black on black crime is a myth. Right? So people want to use that as an excuse to look like they're doing better or saying better or making a broad statement or saying, looking like they have some type of integrity or morals, or looking like they standing up for black people. The two black people that everybody know on this side of the YouTube streets that yell and scream, go back and forth with each other on a daily basis, and they cut each other down on a daily basis. Okay? Here we go, little billboards. Go get an education, fix your titles, get a job, and stop drinking. Here we go with the stupidity. This is what I be talking about, stupid black people. You are the stupid black people. Here we Chase have you unraveling all over these streets. Let me unsubscribe. You not mutual. I don't give a fuck if you unsubscribe, y'all. Go suck on Chase. Don't come over here bringing that whole name up in my titles, in my chat. You blocked too. Y'all getting blocked today because y'all stupid, right? Y'all coming over here because you can't even like conjure up a decent conversation or have an intelligent or rebuttal. Like, what are you doing? Like, bye. Like, y'all coming over here because y'all are triggered, right? No one over here. My platform is based around intelligent people. There are intelligent people on my platform that come in here in the chat and can respond accurately and have a difference of opinion and perspective and unbiased in their opinion. Those are the ones that have stayed with me from day one. Right? I'm just sorting it out and laying out on a line. I'm laying it out on a line. Like, y'all talking about comparisons. Like, Y'all talking about don't bring her name up like she is irrelevant over here. Go listen to that yelling and screaming. Go listen to that doxing. Go listen to that picture posting. We don't do that over here. Bronx girl heading out to work have a wait. Bronx girl heading out to work. Have a wonderful day. Be safe. Thank you, Manifest, for coming over here. Have a good day, Manifest. To all of Phil's Bronx will get on there on her platform and speak for 2 hours repeatedly on the same thing about people that choice to forgive each other. If she's not bothered, it's no different than her forgiving Chase. I don't forgive people. I would never forgive nobody on no YouTube. Sorry, I'm just not cut like that, right? Especially if you show me who you are, especially if you have that type of mindset and mentality and fix growth, right? Because a lot of people talking about they grow and heal, all that bullshit, all that talking that people talking about healing and processing and kumbaya and get along. That's the people I don't want to be associated with. You know what I mean? That's the people I don't want to be associated with. The fakeness. I don't like fake shit. I don't do it in real life, and I don't do it in fake life. Like fake life on here is YouTube. This is like a fantasy for most people. You know, it's not my fault. I'm not here to give you remedial classes, and I'm not talking to my supporters. I'm talking to the ones that's listening in and don't follow and can't comprehend. Like you coming in here talking off topic. I made a comparison, but y'all can't even give me a reasonable answer. That's the sad part about it. Like I compared Sweet Tea because she has no impact and no major influence here on YouTube in this like small, tiny sector community, which will be looked at as ants because community commentators and content creators like us don't get no like recognition. We don't get no like fanfare, right? So I'm comparing the 5 black cops, right? Because you want to call them black, the 5 pig cops that killed and murdered Tyre Nichols. Do you is there a comparison? Yes. Because Sweet Tea has an occupation too, right? And the cops has an occupation. But because the cops has more influence and it's more impactful, it means something. So when people say, "Oh, I'm not gonna go and the Sweet Tea can't be my nurse because of the way she talked," like, what are you talking about? What the hell are y'all? What are y'all talking about? Give me some clarity, right? And then you got people coming here talking about old shit that I don't talk about. Like, that's the thing. Like, if you can't follow, then don't tune in. I'm making this platform for people that can follow. Like it's Bronx platform. Thank you, lovely Leo 50. She can't speak on what she wants. Some of the ladies need to grow up and be a leader and not a follower. They are followers. There you go, Leo. Lovely Leo. That's they what you call it? They backup plan, right? When they don't have nothing to say, they go and dig like with irrelevant shit. Like I don't even talk about the people they talk about. I'm making comparisons since y'all talking about Sweet Tea. Since y'all wanted to elaborate on her, talking about her occupation, that she's lying about being a nurse. I don't feel like she have to prove that to anyone ever, anytime soon. That's what I was saying. But you haven't heard someone say, and then you want to say, how you going to compare the cops to Sweet Tea? What do you mean? But that's a profession. How you going to say that you're not going to listen to her if you choose not to? That's what you choose not to do because this is not how nurses talk. And then I gave an example of nurses being fired for their careless and reckless behavior. What are you saying? I'm sorry that I have to. I'm sorry that I have to correct some people, but that's what we do over here. You know what I mean? And that's how we're going to do it. I'm sorry, right? I feel like in closing, like with the cops, I even wanted to talk about Holla, but we don't have to get into that. It's 103. We could talk about her a little bit, just a little bit. You know, I'm not speaking about people that don't matter to me, right? I really don't want to like keep talking about Roz and Sharita because that's a never ending story. Sweet Tea, she have stood her ground. She have stood her ground from the time she came up here. She respected Roz when she came in. Roz, said things. She said things. It didn't turn out that they were a good match. So she went and she stood her ground. She's been standing her ground on her own. Like I don't just look at anybody and say, "Oh my goodness, yes I do." Like inclusion guru when she says she a teacher, right? And she don't speak or sound like a teacher or she don't profess like a teacher, I just be like, no, because she says she worked with children with special needs, but then you let's look at her content, and then there are some people that are not qualified or certified to deal with people of a certain nature, whether it's special needs, whether it's a nurse. But if I was to say, oh, okay, I'd rather Sweet Tea be my nurse than Inclusion Guru be my child's teacher, if you want to put it like that, right? If you want to put it like that, that's all I'm saying. Or listen, or saying, well, I'd rather let me see. I'd rather, this is an example, I'd rather Sharita babysit my son than to leave my son with Roz. Right? Because people are saying that she's not a good mother because she's responsible allegedly for the death of her son. Like, what the hell do y'all be talking about? Right? What do y'all be talking about? Or saying, oh, well, she forgave the duppy, why we can't move on. I don't have to move on for nothing. I know she is a teacher, but I'm just saying, when people say that, oh well, I would rather Sweet Tea be my nurse than me send my children into Inclusion Guru class to be taught, right? And I'm not going to even get into the, like, because I don't want her to prove that she's a teacher. She don't have to prove that she's a teacher. I don't care if she filmed from a background or, have a backdrop when she's filming. I just feel like, pillars of the community, teachers, lawyers, pastors, doctors, excuse me, police, lawyers, whoever, right? There are certain set of pillars of the community. Teachers are one of them. Pastors, uh, cops, lawyers, doctors, people that have the obligation and the responsibility of ensuring a healthy life to someone. Okay. Like, I used to respect officers. I don't think I can no more. That's where I'm at. No, I feel the same way, Lasagna. I was walking in my building today and I was thinking about my interaction with the police, the cops. Some are nice, some are not. I have had cops who have bought me lunch. I have had cops just, pleasantly smile at me. I have had cops I said hello to and they look at me like, I'm the bottom of their foot. Right. But my main thing is, like, I'm glad that Sweet Tea, she was the topic today. And I am proud to present her as the topic today. Right. Even though we don't agree on 100% of what we say, Sweet Tea, I feel like she's who she is. She is genuine when she speaks. I don't think she have any like fakeness in what she's saying. I think she's genuine in what she say. You know what I mean? I don't think she have to prove anything other than what she's saying on YouTube. Right. I teach my kids to obey and comply. That do not work anymore. That don't. And like, after this incident with the cops, because I looked at the video and it took me a while to look at the video because some people was playing it and they didn't play it responsibly. But I took it and I watched it on one content creator platform, and I watch a lot of progressive news, and he was saying how he hate the cops, how the cops are like trained to do what those five cops did. Race has nothing to do with what those cops did, right? I'm not mad because they were black. I'm mad because they killed an innocent young man for no apparent reason, right? But when they flash their pictures up there in a single line, and it's five of them, and they look like they would be the same people in the suit or out of the uniform, in the uniform or out of the uniform, right? Because if you want to judge people, right, and you look at those cops, those pigs, those animals, right, the mentality of an animal, you would look at them and say, oh, no, that's how they would be if they weren't cops. Right? Most cops become cops because that's where most of their aggression lies. Right? That's where they get off on being a criminal, but they are just in uniform. There are cops out there that are good and decent and give cops a bad names, but remember, they are cops. Police, right? What about police that beat the shit out their wives? Right? And it's not funny, but there are cops that beat the shit out of their wives, and their wives have to put on a united front. Right? So when people say that, oh, I have family that work in a law enforcement, whether, you want to be judged, whether you are an officer, whether you're a lawyer, because they all work together. I just didn't like the fact that people saying like, oh, well, these black cops shame the black community. What are you saying? Right? And that's another example. The black cops shame the black community, right? because of what they did to Tyre Nichols, but the people that you listening to and talking about, you don't think they shaming each other, right? You give more credence to someone like Sweet Tea, Roz, and Sharita, and then not take out the responsible actions of cops like the ones that killed Tyre Nichols. Good morning, Jam Jam 66. That's what I'm confused about. Like, your priorities are like fucked up, right? This is only entertainment. I have a problem with the people I have a problem with because they present themselves as something they're not. Sweet Tea has not presented herself as no fraud. Like, I'm not saying with her work or whatever. I'm not questioning that. I'm just saying when she present her content is genuine, even if you agree or disagree. Right? The double back because they got convicted fast. Right. But you know what? They should have. They they did something that was like they said the video was an hour long. I can't watch the hour long video, right? The mother came out. She's composed. She's handling it well. She's doing what she's have to do. She is seeking justice for her son. She is not stopping until justice is served for her son. So when people say justice for the Hernandez family, no, justice for Tyre Nichols. Okay? You're stripped of your cultural identity when you are indoctrinated into a police force. That's true. You know, you exactly. So they train you the way they want you to be trained. So automatically they saw Tyre Nichols and said, oh, that's another black man that we have to may or may not have to kill. But you can see that killing was on their mind. Right? They had even a unit called the Scorpion Squad. They even had an article I was reading before I came live today that said that they applied, like the two of the officers applied to the police precinct, excuse me, when their requirements went down, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, people always like have a particular set of ideas of how things are supposed to be, but when they get down to the nitty gritty, or they don't want to get to the meat and potatoes of things, right? And I just feel like when people sit there and try to put like roast Sweet Tea because she's a nurse, that shit is like crazy to me, right? And you may say, oh, what about inclusion guru? But no, she's supposed to be a pillar of the community. She professed to be a black woman. She professed to be this great idea of what a black intelligent woman looked like because she says she had the credentials of a teacher. I don't care if she's a teacher or not. I just know that the way Sweet Tea entered this arena was authentic. She didn't hide her face at all. Neither did Inclusion Guru, but I listened to her because people were saying she's intelligent and she's articulate and she speaks from a different point of view. But when I started to hear her, right, and I don't care if you follow me and you follow the Inclusion Guru and she wins and you don't like what I'm saying about her, I just want to set an example of what I'm saying, right? The Inclusion Guru, you know, she is the person that would probably be the typical cop that would do or probably have the same idea. Not saying that she would. Okay, not saying that she would. She would have the same mindset as those pigs that killed Tyre Nichols. Okay, exactly. Shamra Adams. I thought I was the only one that was like, and we're not closed-minded, Shamra Adams. I don't go up saying justice for anyone, but I will say justice for Tyre Nichols because it took me a while to look at the tape to say, okay, I don't want to see this. You know, 5 big ass gorillas, right? They y'all talking about calling other people silverbacks and shit. That's what you call a silverback gorilla. Those police officers that murdered that man, Tyre Nichols, may he get the justice he deserved. His mother said, you know, her son was only 150 pounds. She said on the interview with Don Lemon that was like 1,000 pounds beating the crap out of him. Right? So when y'all, you got to get your priorities straight. That's just, I guess, my main goal is I'm not going to sit here and persecute Sweet Tea, right? I'm not going to persecute her because she stood her ground from the time she stepped in to now. I just didn't feel like she was fake. I felt like, yeah, some things she has said and mentioned and talked about, I don't agree with. No, I don't. But she has stood her ground 100% on her own. And you talking about with inclusion guru? Yeah, I just don't have the affinity for her because I feel like there's some type of like something's missing. They doxed her too. I wasn't even interested. I just didn't care. It just goes to show you no one is untouchable. It just goes to show you the mindset of people that could sit behind a black screen and talk about other people's kids, but you have not seen one glance or glare at their children. Why haven't you seen other people's children that other people talk about? Everybody have showed their face once in a while. Probably once is all you need, twice is all you need. But the people that have not gone live and show their face, I have even went live and showed my face, and I got backlash because people are just so dumb. They just can't see, the forest from the trees. Excessive force. Excuse me. Thank you. Excessive force that was used upon Tyre Nichols. Right. That's all I'm saying. Y'all don't think we here at my platform sit back and analyze shit? That's what we do. I told y'all we analyze, we examine, we explore, we assess the situation. I'm just giving y'all my broad perspective. I'm sorry. It may not sit well with a lot of people. Right. And I'm glad that we could like go into a segue with Tyre Nichols and his death, his untimely, senseless, heinous, gruesome death. He was in the hospital for 3 days. His mother said that she did not know what was going on until the doctor asked her, "Why aren't you here with your son?" He went into cardiac arrest. He had kidney failure. He would not have went into cardiac arrest. He would not have had kidney failure if excessive force, as Doris so eloquently put it, used upon him. So when y'all say, "Oh, Sweet Tea is a nurse," of course you may have your, reservations about her commentary. But, I don't think she will endanger anyone's life, right? Because she is in a medical field. That's totally different. That's totally different. She has a training. She had to go to school that she had to train to become a nurse. And I just feel like when people say that shit, it reminds me of when, I saw this little short positive film where the doctor was black and the couple was white and she needed a transfusion and she needed to go into immediate surgery. He said, "I don't want you examining my wife because you are black." You know what? They had to wait. The longer they waited, the more the excruciating pain she was in, her life was in danger. Right? They had to call a doctor to come an hour away, but the black doctor didn't leave. And this is just a dramatic, short film that they have. That just goes to show, but people do like this exist like this. "I don't want you examining my wife or my family member because you're black. And I don't like black people." So you mean to tell me that if you were in front of Sweet Tea and she came into ER and you came into triage and she had to examine your child, because nurses know more than a doctor. I've heard Sweet Tea talk in medical terms a lot. A lot. Right? So she's studying something. She knows something about medical field. So you saying if you was faced with Sweet Tea and you had to bring your child or family member into the doctor's office, you would skip over her. She's the only nurse available. You would say, do not want this woman examining my child because she have a vulgar, derogatory, nasty mouth on YouTube. Y'all are crazy. And you talk about I'm all over the place. Yeah, I'm all over the place. If people don't agree with what content creators give, your opinion respectfully and keep it pushing or log off and go somewhere else, that's all they got to do. But they won't. They come up here and bring up old shit, rehash old shit that's irrelevant to the cause. They will come up here and bring up old shit and rehash old shit that's not relevant to the topic. You already lost. We will not lose over here. I got visions for this channel. I'm sorry if I'm not down in the gutter like y'all want me to be. Put me down in the gutter, keep me there, and then watch me fight my way out. Just as simple as that. Let me see, it's 118. I think we got one more. And another thing two more things, because I wanted to end this quickly with a little bit of, holla. I just wanted to say, I give Tyre Nichols' mother the much deserved respect that she deserves. I'll give her the much deserved respect. She lost a child. If any of Rod's squad is in here, if you have followed Roz, have Roz even talked about Tyre Nichols? Because they have something in common. They both lost their son to the act of violence tragically, right? So that would be a topic that I haven't heard Roz talk about because I don't tune into her because she says she don't tune into me, but I do listen to her. It's the same old womp 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 crickets. That's what I hear when I hear her now. I hear her talk about certain shit, but if you want to keep defending yourself against the ops, what you so say, you lost too. Okay, I will be sweet tea. I know you from the to take care of my baby. Is that exactly? Holla was going home. You know what, Lasagna? I didn't like tune into it because I don't watch funerals. I don't do funerals. Funerals are not like it's just kind of hard. I don't go to funerals. The last funeral, not funeral I went to, it was a viewing for my friend. I don't do it unless I have to go. I feel like she was put away nicely. I just feel like some of it was like, all for a dramatic tune in view. Okay, her supporters seen her laid to rest, and that was nice and all. I just feel like now the aftermath of it is coming to the front, and people have to deal with that. I just feel like with the way they handled her burial, the way the business got out there, leaks and asking for GoFundMe's, and it's just the simple fact that people think they wanted what they want to think. Hala was in her 90s. She didn't know about YouTube. She didn't know about social media. She didn't manage her money. You could see that she didn't manage her money or had any control over it, because if she did, then, it wouldn't have been mismanaged. They wouldn't have to had any reason to ask for a GoFundMe. I heard she gave some people money back. Oh, really? I just feel like, if Kala is may she rest peacefully. If when she was a YouTube sensation, a YouTube star, you know, she should have had better handlers around her. So her legacy can live on peacefully, and people tune in and be like, whether they like the way Hala talk to people or not, she has a legacy that she left behind. And now that it's like enthralled in drama, that takes away from her legacy. That just goes to show you that when people say, um you know, when people say they don't want Sweet Tea, as an example, to be their children's nurse, but I wouldn't want a family member like that to be a family member of mine, and you destroying my legacy, and you're not doing anything to fix it. Okay. Queen Bee, Lisa, my best friend and RN. I've been in the medical field for ever. They just regular people live and do the same thing as we all do. Doc, trust me, they do. They regular people. I know nurses. I've been meeting nurses. I know nurses. I have one that live on my floor. Her daughter's a nurse. She's a nurse. I know. So if I need, and I asked her if I ever need help, may I knock on your door? She said most definitely. You know what I mean? Nurses save lives, whether you're RN, LPN, or whatever. If you have training in the medical field, you are trained to do the basics, right? So a lot of people don't know CPR. So if I'm walking past uh, Sweet Tea, and she know me as Bronx Girl, and me and her don't have any type of like affinity towards each other, but say something happened to one of my children or something happened to me, do you think Sweet Tea will think about me being a YouTube person that she have beef with and walk over me, or will she administer CPR? That's all I'm saying. She was doing that for a child and her grandkids. She referenced that a couple of times. Yeah, I just feel like the way they you know after her death, it should have been love and light. People want to speak like that, love and light. It should have been no drama within this family. It just goes to show you that there was not order in a home. And that's how I feel about that. When people want to speak on who they, watch with, like, religiously and shit like that. Well, here we go. What? Nah, let me not post that. Roz son blanked that man and blanked the grandma. What? That doesn't even have anything. No, let me stop. I don't want to post that. But that does not, Mary. That don't have nothing to do with what we're talking about. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to reenact no scene because I feel like a lot of people got it fucked up when it comes to how things work, right? So let me just simmer you down. I gotta erase that comment. I had to block you. First of all, I'm not gonna talk about the what happened with Rod's son. You know, like y'all making a little like serious allegations in this chat, which you shouldn't be doing, and that's what I don't want. You know, I'm not putting up no articles. I'm not putting up anything. I'm not talking about the death of her son or how it may have happened, right? So, in my estimated opinion, when it came to that, like it was a mass shooting. That's what it was, right? So you can't tell me one particular person came up before, since y'all want to know, respectfully, you can't tell me one particular person got out their car and started blasting off on everybody. And then, you know, the person that he blasted and the one particular person he blasted all had the strength enough to blast him. And then another person that was blasted or shot had the strength enough to blast the other person. Like, what are y'all saying? Right? Like this is what I be talking about. Like the ignorance that flows through people's minds and that don't educate themselves or inform themselves on things that they need to be properly informed of. Like those allegations that you just put in my chat, Mary Jones, was serious allegations. Maybe you don't know how to read with comprehension, right? I know another person talking about the case is not closed. Well, you know, the Juju is a citizen, is a productive citizen. He's held accountable to what? Y'all are really crazy. Like if you want to solve a mystery, do it on your own time. This is not the platform to do it on at all. Y'all be bugging. But anyway, I'll just am happy that I'm here with you guys and we had a chance and an opportunity to talk. Like I don't like I'm not gonna go back to listen to no responses to anyone or what they have or what they may have to say because like if you got blocked or if you got blocked, that means you're just dumb. Like if you get blocked from someone's chat, that means you said something really dumb or stupid. Or it has no matter in this topic at all, right? Like go over there. You are free to go over there and talk about people disgustingly. You are free to go over there and talk about anything you want with that person that talk about it. You know, you have options to float around. Like don't come over here with that bullshit. You ain't gonna hold me accountable for nothing that you may have said. I'm responsible for this chat because I don't have moderators. Right? Y'all so hooked up talking about justice for who, justice for who. Y'all don't have justice for nobody. You don't even have justice for yourself. You don't even believe in yourself. You don't even believe that you can make a change in the world, but you're trying to make a change on YouTube. You can't even make a change in your personal life, like having a different type of mindset that's appealing to massive people. That's what I say about that. You know what I mean? We here on my platform, Bronx Girl, Brave Hearts, or Eagle Eyes, we have a certain type of mindset. Most of us are like minded, and most of us are logical thinkers, and we don't think with our heart, we think with our mind. That's why we are different from the most, and I appreciate that. Appreciate Lasagna and Doris and Manifest Reality and everyone that came in here, Charmel, Meet the Meds, you know, everyone that's in here, Fanny, lovely Leo, Jenny from the block. You know, all of you in here are appreciated. I thank you. Like, go listen to the ones that you immune to listening to. If you're immune to listening to Roz talking shit all day about Sharita, go listen to that. If you're immune to Sharita talking shit about Roz, go listen to that. You know, because they wouldn't dare let you come up there and say something like good about Roz. Like you getting blocked. You get blocked over here too. It's no different. Y'all are definitely crazy. Like and the thing is like when we shut y'all down, we shut y'all down. Y'all come up with your stupid ass opinions and stupid ass remarks and comments and shit. And we push back on y'all. We all over the place. No, we on point. we steady over here. We are aware. And that's what y'all need to realize. So I just want to say thank you to everyone. Let me see if there's any more comments. Thank you, Doris, for closing out the show with the hearts. I mean, with the lions and the roses. I appreciate you, Doris. You are a member. You and Osania. I'm gonna get my members up because people come members and they okay. I'm true to who I am, true to the game. So thank you everyone for listening to my insight and my perspective. And I love you for listening. Have a beautiful Monday. Have a safe and productive day. And Oh, thank you. Let's get it. Thank you, Chocolate. What is that? That makes me so look. I'm blushing. I like the ones that stay to the end and did comment. That's just like listening to a story. Y'all, we get each other, don't we? It's like me telling the story, and then I say the end, and then that's when the listeners come in. Thank you, listeners. Thank you. Let's get it. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys. Have a safe and blessed day.